Most weekends for me are built around a lot of sports and broadcasting, from the prep to the late nights at the radio station doing on-air work and other things, to then game day. It all kind of, blends together for me. So this is what a normal weekend looks like for a student broadcaster at the University of Indianapolis. To kick a busy weekend off, we got the game on Saturday, so I had to get ready for that game, and what better way than to start the weekend off getting ready for that game than heading to Supercuts and getting a fresh haircut. It's kind of getting busy up there on the top, so I had to get that trimmed down. Let's take a look and see how that looks. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Maybe could have gotten a little bit more off the sides, but it'll do. Now it's time to head to UINDY, and this is where the real work starts. Gotta head to the prep room and get to work. Here's the room that'll be my home for the next few hours while we get the prep work done for the game tomorrow. Prep work, the most important thing to any broadcaster. You get all the stats, all the storylines, all the player names, everything that you need to have prior to calling the game the next day. You want to make sure you have everything nailed down, everything correct. You don't want to be wrong over the airwaves. Let's go ahead and take a look at how I do my prep. As we start here, let me just preface this with saying this was about an hour and a half process just to get the Purdue Northwest side of things done, and this is compressed into about a 2-minute time lapse overall. That's why it looks so sped up and quick, but that's the point of this. But to begin kind of how I do my prep, I start obviously with the team name, what the record is. So Purdue Northwest Pride, they were 1-7, 0-3 in conference play. So I put who their head coach is, assistant coach, and then I will get into the players. I'll look at their most important players. We have 9 slots on my prep sheet that I can fill with those players. So I'll go down the order of who the players are, the best players are. I'll go in number order, put their player name first, last, what year they are, what position they are, their height, and where they are from. That's the most important information, obviously, over the course of broadcast. Be like, the sophomore guard from Hammond, Indiana hit the shot, and then say the player name, obviously. After I do that, I'll kind of look at their stats, their season stats, so points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game in that left column next to the player's number. And the other column next to that will be the percentages. So field goal percentage, free throw percentage, and three-point percentage from top to bottom. So I'll fill those out for each player, kind of see who's doing what on the stat sheet so far this season, who's been the best so far. Then I'll get notes, 4 or 5 notes per player, kind of the important information, career highs. I'll get any other notes about these players that are fun facts, that are just tidbits about these athletes and what they can do on the floor. And then I will hop over to the UINDY side, update their stats because we already have a sheet maintained. That's kind of where I will end things. But overall, about a 2-hour process to get all of this done. But once that's finished, I'm kind of hungry. So why don't we grab some food and let's see where we head. But it wouldn't be a time leaving UINDY unless you ran into some traffic and, more importantly, the train by UINDY. So, of course, guys, hop on the train. Let's see where I go to get some food. Haircut done, most of the prep done, so what better than a brain break with some food? More specifically, what about Raising Cane's chicken? Because, as people call me, a big unseasoned chicken fan, but I love the Raising Cane's, and, this is the second day this one's been open, a brand new one here in Greenwood, so why not check it out and get some food, recharge, get ready to go. I'm going to go home, finish some prep up, watch a show while I'm eating the food, and then head to work tonight. I'll see you guys at work tonight. Radio 1 on air. We'll see you guys tonight. Finished up that final parts of the prep. Now it's time to head downtown to Radio 1 in beautiful downtown Indianapolis. One of the perks at working at Radio 1 is I get to have this drive every time I get to work at Radio 1. I get to drive right through downtown, the heart of it, And man, especially at night, there's no better sight, honestly. And driving to Radio One, working downtown, it's honestly a blessing. That's something I never could have imagined to be working. It was on the Circle. We have unfortunately moved buildings in the last few days, so no longer on the Circle. But obviously, I had to take the scenic route for you, and we're gonna head right through the heart of Indianapolis to our brand new Radio 1 studios. But man, I couldn't ask for anything more than a drive like this every single night.
Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Please have some snow and mistletoe and presents by the tree. Christmas Eve will find me.
So we pop into Radio 1, immediately get to work in the new studio. I have two 2-minute updates and two 1-minute updates I need to do. That'll play over the air at 6 and 7 a.m. across the state of Indiana. Got to include some clips of Shane Steichen, Rick Carlisle, the coaches of the Colts and the Pacers, and update the state of Indiana about what is going on in the sports world. After that, then we get to go on the air live on Indiana Sports Talk.
You ready? Yeah. On and up, coach. Right now.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Indiana Sports Talk. We're glad you can join
I will
us
have audio, by the way.
on a snowy night. Be careful to ride to
We're
your
gonna have audio there.
destination safely.
You need
Right now,
audio.
though, we got a busy. We got stuff going on now. We got games being played. We turn that over to the star of our show. It's Network Indiana's Jace Hodge.
This Indiana Sports Talk scoreboard update is brought to you by Quality Supply and Tool in Indianapolis, Wilmington, Jeffersonville, and Lafayette. Think outside the box.
And
Store.
the music's gonna.
QualitySupplyandTool.com.
Pleasure to be with you, Coach, on this Friday night with our producer, Caleb Zuber, alongside us, looking into the world of Indiana high school basketball. Some new final scores to tell you about. Brownsburg over Tippecanoe Valley, 66-39. Chesterton beats Washington Township, 75-30. Park. Now, I won't bore you with the continuous talking of basketball scores, but that's kind of the gist of how this night goes. I am the scoreboard update guy, and usually listeners, they want to hear about the high school scores on the state for their city, so that's the main focal point that I will focus on throughout the night is the high school basketball scores, but also Indiana Pacers, Indianapolis Colts, anything going on with them. I will play some audio clips from the coaches saying certain things in media interviews and then updating the scores across the state, across all sports, whether it be major league, college, or even at the high school level. That's kind of how the night goes, and I'll do that a few times over the course of 2.5 hours with legendary coach Bob Lovell on his long-term Indiana Sports Talk. Now 30 years he's been doing this show. I have been on it for at least 3 years now. Pleasure as always to be with him and do this show with him. But I won't continue to bore you with this. This is kind of how most of this will go over the course of the night, and then my night is done, dusted, and I can get the heck out of there. Done at work, a few hours of radio work, but that's all done and dusted. And now I want to go home, get some rest. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, got to get ready to take the bus up to Hammond, Indiana to go call UINDY versus Purdue Northwest. Should be a fun time. We'll see you guys in the morning. And just like that, back in this room like we never left. Have some final touch-ups to do, get everything sent to my own email ready to print out. Then we'll head to the other part of the third floor and print out my final prep sheets and get those in my bag and ready to go to take on the road. When I walk into this room, got to get logged in, and at this point I had already sent everything I needed to myself so I can print it out of the printer here in this studio. So I'll get on there, I'll print out the prep sheet, the spot chart I showed you guys earlier in the time lapse for both UINDY and for Purdue Northwest, and then I will also print out the game notes for both us and Purdue Northwest that both of the sports information offices put together that has a bunch of other stats, a bunch of other info that is going to be useful. Print all that out, get everything I need, staple together, put that in a folder, and then we have one last thing we need to do before we head to the bus, and that is the most important part. We need to grab the equipment, because without the equipment, we aren't having a broadcast. Let's go ahead, snag that access kit, and get on the road. And of course, once we grab the access kit, we have to make sure to sign it out on the sign out sheet. Otherwise, our engineer Brody won't be a very happy camper with me at the end of the day. Gotta make sure to sign out, put my name, put the date, and sign out before I take this access kit on the road to the bus. Speaking of the bus, that's where we're heading next. Time to catch the bus, hit the road, and head up to Hammond to call a basketball game. Now that I have everything that I need in my vehicle, you might notice it's snowing out there. It wasn't supposed to start until about noon on the way up to Hammond, but at this point, it's about 9:30 in the morning, so about 2.5 hours early for the snow coming into the area. Not a surprise that it's going to snow, just not this early, so a little bit of a snowy drive over to catch the bus. Speaking of the bus, this is the last time I'll see you before we get to Hammond, as on the bus, well, for one, I fell asleep, and that's part of, how it goes for broadcasters. Sometimes you need to take a little mental break, take a little nap, and get yourself ready to call the game, get some extra rest before you call the game. So I took a nap on the bus, so no montage like I had planned on the way over, but we'll get to Hammond, we'll get ready, we'll get set, and we will get to talking on the air about some women's basketball action. No problems on the way up to him, and as you saw there, we are there at warm-ups, watching over the players warm up, got my prep out ready to go, got the access kit set up. We are connected via the producer back in Indianapolis, about 3 hours south of where we were at in Hammond. Got my intro in my head, ready to go, prep done, everything highlighted. We are ready to talk some hoops. The snow is falling, and the mounds are falling here in Hammond, Indiana. My name is Jace alongside Caden Colford. Back in Indianapolis, keeping us on the airwaves. 3 hours through the snow. It's a women's basketball on tap here on a Saturday afternoon. The 0-8 Greyhounds for their first win of the season against the 1-7 Purdue Northwest Pride. And now we'll pound the ball on the ground, throw it up in the air, and the tip is won by the Pride in Purdue Northwest. Cameron Phillips controls, immediately hands off to Alyssa Cole at the line at midcourt. Gets the screen right, gives to Malosnik, who rounds it back down low. Open look down low for Alyssa Cole, who gets it off the glass and good for the first bucket of the game. And that's the way things would begin in the basketball game. It began as a very kind of slow game. Towards the end of the first quarter, though, things would pick up, and the Greyhounds would be able to tie it. Greyhounds on a run and on the run. Garner down low, the baseline, looking for a give to Poe to tie the game. Gracie Poe's off front iron, but Lawson brings the offensive board down. Sapenter left open, 3-ball, good, and the Greyhounds tie it. And the Hounds would inevitably use that momentum to continue this run into the middle part of the second quarter.
Chikamba looking for Garner. Garner will catch, will shoot, wide open. She hit it.
Great set.
And that buzzer rings. Ruby Garner, a big shot for her. Her first really big shot of the season. And the Greyhounds will take a 7-point lead into the halftime break.
Yep, you heard that right. A buzzer-beating shot to take us to halftime. And, well, it wouldn't be exactly that easy for the Greyhounds. Coming out of the half, you'll see what happens. Purdue Northwest, they had an answer multiple times.
Cole will drive, give right side. Malosnik, high arcing three ball. That one is money. Malosnik, a big three out of the timeout. That's her third three of the ball game. She's 3 for 5 from outside the arc, and she has 13 points, leading all scorers.
And things, they would stay close throughout the entirety of the third quarter. Heading into the fourth quarter, it was a back-and-forth game. But the Greyhounds, they held the lead up until the final minute of the fourth and final quarter. Let's go ahead, take a listen to how the end of this fourth quarter transpired in these next 2 clips.
Can the Greyhounds take this one home? Or will the Pride come back and secure a second victory? Sabater free throw line. Under a minute to play. Down low, Rucker. Double teamed now. Pump fakes and finishes at the bucket.
Great set. Great set. You found a great low post score in the spot that she wanted it. 1-on-1. Great patience.
44 seconds to go. 3-point lead for Indianapolis. Phillips looking for a pass. Finds Malosnik. Thinking about it, pulling a long three. She nails it. Tie ball game. Malosnik nails a long three from the right wing. And timeout, Indianapolis. The inbound is always one to watch. Malosnik will inbound from the near side next to the bench. Looking for the ball. She'll look throw high. Now throw it inbounds. Taken away by Rucker. Open lane. 2-1 at the buzzer. Lays it in. Is it in time though? Basket is good currently, and the Greyhounds have won. They are going to review this. Rucker off the left hand, laid it in off the glass, but didn't leave the left hand in time.
Close,
it was
Jace.
really close.
It's really close.
Rucker took it away, had a wide open lane, and she made it. But was it off of the fingertips in time? Another review for a possible game-winning shot. And sprinting, shot is good. The Greyhounds have, oh wait. No, they're still reviewing. They said the Greyhounds are to celebrate. Basket is no good. It is no good. The Greyhounds do not win. An early celebration.
Man.
And Rucker must have been on her fingertips still. We'll head to overtime.
An absolutely insane sequence. After all of that, we head to an extra period of basketball, one that in the early stages was dominated by the Pride of Purdue Northwest.
Under 3 to play in overtime. Gracie Pope prepares to check back in for the Greyhounds. The next dead ball. Looking for an answer. Looking for a stop defensively. Up top, Alyssa Cole pulling a 3. She nails it. Purdue Northwest on top by 7. Timeout, Indianapolis.
But in a game like this, was it actually over? I don't think so. The Greyhounds, they have a response.
Garner will inbound into the backcourt over the top for Chikamba. She retains it with 20 to shoot over the midcourt line now. Bounce pass, Rucker controls, has a lane, will pull a midi, and she'll hit. Tie ball game, 71 apiece. Timeout, Purdue Northwest.
And breaking news, no one scored again in overtime period number 1, meaning we had a second overtime in Hammond, Indiana. Because you know what? Let's have some fun. We'll head to overtime number 2. This one does not turn out as great for one of these two teams.
Speaking of turnovers, the Pride take it away and get an easy lay off a bad throw. Malosnik gets the easy 2 points and a 3-point lead for Purdue Northwest. A mishap for the Greyhounds on the offensive side of things.
And well, the Greyhounds didn't necessarily improve on the offensive side of things, not hitting a field goal the rest of the way. Purdue Northwest able to see this one out, except the Greyhounds did have one last bucket in them.
Indeed, hits both. 84-75, 11.1 to go. Inbounding Chikamba. Looking to make quick work in this possession. Chikamba will give this happen to her right wing. Pull a 3. That one off the glass. No good. Then meter offensive rebound. Puts it up and no good. Chikamba tip-in does go. And that one, Caden, was in time prior to the buzzer expiring. kind of the story. The way to end the game, the final layup was in time. But the Purdue Northwest Pride come out with a double overtime victory as they move to 2-7. They end their 7-game skid. McCade and the Greyhounds will head back to Indianapolis, still with a goose egg in the W column.
And that would indeed be that. A crazy good game for something like this. 84-77, once again, the final, as Purdue Northwest did take down the Greyhounds in double overtime. A little bit of a disappointed look on my face, but man, I could not be happier with the way that call ended up going. The prep work, I got to use a lot of it. I mean, when you have that much time on the air, I don't think that we took a break for about an hour straight between regulation and the 2 overtime periods. So a lot of stuff to talk about with myself and Caden Colford. It was time to hit the bus, and with breaking news for everybody, I once again did not record anything on the bus. I, 1, took a nap on the way back, and 2, I watched the Heisman Trophy ceremony, and I watched Fernando Mendoza win the Heisman Trophy for IU football. That was a whole lot of fun, and then I got to deal with, the fun snow and ice on the way back on the bus as well. But overall, a mostly safe but very long 4-hour trip for what should be a 3-hour trip due to the snow that had fallen in central Indiana. But, I got back to campus on the bus, take the step off, and man, I about slip. Ice and snow all over the place, which I had to erase from my car. Well, I've arrived back to Indianapolis, and not a great scene here. Looking outside, a good 6 inches of snow has fallen. My windshield currently is all icy, and my hands are freezing cold, taking a break. Hopefully I'll be home soon, then I can get home, chill for the rest of the night. Get tomorrow, watch the Colts game, watch Phillip Rivers, and that will be my weekend. But a great game today, a fun call with me and Caden Colford, and a great game looking at those clips back. And man, it's a cold place to be right now. I'm gonna finish getting this windshield done, and I'm gonna call it a day and have a good Sunday, call it a weekend, and that'll be that. Thanks for joining me.